wants to restructure the milkshake IPA contract.
Ignoring your coach is like the least of the problems.
He wants his cake and eat it too. It looked like they just walked out of bed.
Football isn't basketball.
I'm cutting away right now.
Welcome to Please Dunk Responsibly. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Rice. With me, as always, my co-host,
Phil Webster. Yeah, we're here for the start of the season.
Right on time.
Right on time. Yeah, it's like perfect. This is us. This is what we do.
Yeah. I mean, look, we made it before the first six of the season was over. I think, nobody can fault us for what we're doing.
It's 1/8 of the season is gone.
Yeah.
I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Give us a break.
Shut up. I mean, we've been here the whole time. You saw the three posts we made.
There's a lot going on in the NBA. Yeah. There's a lot going on in our lives.
In our defense, did we need one more group of people talking about this stuff that was going on? Because it was a bonkers offseason. It's been a bonk.
It is.
Everything. Trade demands met, trade demands rejected. Value of what's that?
Nobody can trade a milkshake IPA for anything.
Yeah. No.
Somebody wants to restructure the milkshake IPA contract. There's a lot.
The definition of milkshake IPA may have been changed forever.
Oh my God. Oh my God. A personality alone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like, I don't here it doesn't belong in beer. DeJounte Murray somehow worth like more than most stars from 2 years ago.
Yes. It's been a crazy,
I read an article like
off-season
moves really worked. I'm like, what off-season moves did the Hawks make? Like, DeJounte Murray, that's a move? All right. I mean, I know they gave like 3 draft picks for a guy who barely was a starter for the Spurs.
Yeah, they didn't have to give up any of their starters, and they get to make another run at it. They look halfway decent, even though they did not win tonight. But I think that was one of our favorite moves of the off season that we talked about. Obviously, rookies are pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm. They're crushing,
and rookies are crushing all over the place.
Oh my God!
Yes,
and then the team that lost their rookie is doing good too.
They're still doing good too. Is your Thunder? Yes, your Thunder's doing quite all right without their blocks a lot. I mean, they're hanging in there. It's again the first 10 games, but the Kings look formidable. They look like they're working out the kinks with their new coach, Mike Brown. The Warriors look like they're in hangover mode. The Lakers look terrible and distraught. This is almost 2020 all over again. Like in a way, like Kyrie's having issues. The Nets are terrible and disruptive, and the Lakers are bad.
And regressing every day. It seems like
regressing. Just looks like they're getting more and more geriatric.
Yeah.
No. It's passing them by.
It's a young man's game.
It's a young man's game. Yes, sir.
It's the most athletic game on earth. And they're like, let's do the oldies. Let's play the hits.
And it happens like overnight. Like it really is happening to LeBron and stuff overnight, where it's just like, and it's happening to the two of the most physically dominating players at one time or another, him and Westbrook. Yeah. And it just, your body won't let you do that anymore. It happened to Dwayne Wade real quick.
Oh yeah.
All of a sudden,
like 1 year.
The steep, he literally got traded to Cleveland. It didn't help. He went back to Miami 1 year as a swan song, and
that was the Bulls. Don't forget.
Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Quickly to the Bulls. Yeah, he had to go home really quick. His birth.
Yeah, he's like, I'll go at a champ here. Oh shit! Back to where I am loved.
Yes, that didn't work out so well, and he's like, "Oh, let me go where I won championships, and they'll forgive me for being not that great."
Age stays undefeated.
But yes, it does. It does. I don't care what LeBron commercials come out. And yes, of course, he's a freak athlete, and he's going to be better than most.
Yeah,
but
he's putting
the
more
team
time
around him
on the
has
floor
to be
than almost
younger.
anybody.
Yeah, it's fine if he goes back to a young Cavs team or something like that again, but he can't do it assembling his old friends. Like you're not going to get
old like you, and they were never as dominant as you.
No, and the only reason they're good or Chris Paul's good right now is because he has nothing but babies around him that allow him. If only he could stay healthy for the playoffs. How about just don't use him until then?
Yeah, which we talked about last year. Yeah.
You know you're going to make the playoffs. Just save him.
I mean, they're going to have problems. You know, Jay Crowder won't report. And my buddy Cam Johnson is out for a month or two. So
yeah, he is. Yeah, they are kind of trying to figure it out. Well, yeah, they kind of shot themselves in the foot on that one.
Well, yeah, we talked about that at length too. Just the dumb.
Yes, we did.
But
we're like, what are you doing? Sign him and then worry about the rest later.
Fuck.
Yes.
Why piss
if you want to trade him later, do it. You still can.
Yeah, he's still a valuable
but make
asset.
him disgruntled doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you at all.
And then give him the ball in the fourth quarter. Are we doing that yet? Fuck.
No, I don't
think we are.
No, and I think that's where they're getting away from is their philosophy of, I know this got us here or to the Western Conference Finals, but maybe we should stop giving it to a young center down the stretch who can make his free throws, by the way.
Yeah. It's not like, it's not like, oh boy, he's a problem with the line. He's not. He shoots like 78%.
No. Yeah, he's fine.
More than average for a center. So what's the problem? Yes. What's the point? He's a brute, and he's got finesse. Like, he can overpower you, he can finesse you, he can make his free throws, he plays defense, he rebounds, like, he picks, like, he says, what?
No, we love him. There's everything we love about him.
Just give him
I have no
ball.
idea. He just doesn't shoot threes. Other than that, he's just giving the ball. They're treating him like Karl Anthony Towns, or maybe even worse.
No, because they don't give
just not using him down the stretch. Well, yeah, I mean, I think they go away from Towns.
They're treating him like Gobert.
They do. They're not yeah, I mean, and then we knew that there would be some level of kinks to work out with how you're going to play with two bigs that. But they'll figure it out.
I feel like 11 games or whatever is not enough to like judge.
No, I literally went to the Kings' second game against the Clippers, unfortunately, that they lost because they couldn't even make free throws. It looked like they just walked out of bed. They didn't have any plays that they were really running. Like you said, there was a minimal all season. A new coach. I mean, their ensemble looks great. Kevin Huerter is way bigger than I thought.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, he was underutilized on the Hawks. Oh my God, what a waste!
They didn't have room.
He's so good.
They knew what they had.
He's just so good. Well, they did, but they just didn't have a facilitator. That's not what Young does. Trae Young does not facilitate. That's why you got
he was their facilitator.
DeJounte Murray. That's why you brought in Murray because Murray's more of a facilitator.
And that defensive.
That
athleticism. Yeah.
And they need that. Yeah, Capella's getting older. He can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're going to need those two guys to spell each other down the stretch when when they get into the playoffs. But the Kings look great. Murray looks great for them. Keegan Murray looks every bit a rookie, but he does the little things. He's just a bigger Halliburton, in my opinion, somebody who wants to be here, somebody who works really hard on defense, and he just is happy to be out there, like even when he's struggling, but he has the range. He's just got to get into the fold. And like we said, it's been 10 games, but to me and you, I think the last time we did this, we were saying that he was probably, the star of the show for a summer league, besides Baconero for Orlando and your guy, Mr. Holmgren.
May he rest in peace.
Before because his career is done.
You know what? I still want to.
He's not Adam Morrison, okay? Calm down. He'll be okay.
I still want to do a look at second picks. They just don't ever add up to anything. They get hurt or they add up to nothing.
I think it's reverse with just Kevin Durant and Odin. I think because that was the only time that really didn't work out first round pick, and the second.
It's usually
pick
the second pick that's screwed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. God. It's anyway. We're fine. We're doing
that
fine.
And Peyton Manning. But that's another story.
We added. When I say we, I'm talking about the Thunder or us.
Yes, your beloved Thunder. Your beloved Thunder, my beloved Kings. We're talking. Yes.
Investing in athletes, and investing in rangy arms,
draft
and legs.
Picks.
Yeah, using them because we got a million picks. Why not just pick athletes?
Pick the best athlete. Yes,
but because my not so beloved Raiders, whom I have disowned a number of times, also pick athletes. But football isn't basketball. Like they need how to play.
You need position players. Yeah, you need position
know
players
how
in
to
football.
Defend and how to run an offense. Yeah. They can't just be fast or quick.
How to run routes.
They have to be able to do the small things. Because football, it's a game of inches. Basketball, you only get like 4 scores. And you can't give up 5, and it takes so little to give up 5, and so it doesn't work. But
the Thunder were so good with the blueprint, right?
Get 90, 100.
They've gotten Westbrook. They went and got Harden the next year.
And Ibaka,
they didn't matter. They just got athletes. Like Sam Presti knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, he learned from R.C. Buford at the Spurs. Like just.
Yes.
Who's still doing it.
It's going to get frustrating, of course, because you're constantly dealing with new talent, and it's going to be hard to find out what your core is going to be. Yeah, but you could be the Kings in most cases, but I think they're finally getting it together. But I've only said that 17 other times. Yeah. So,
say what you will about Mike Brown as a coach, and God knows we have.
Yes, we have. Thing he can do it was not my pick.
He can deal with egos, connect with young players, and instill at least a semblance of defense. Like that's his focus. Is that defense wins ball games? And so with a team that's this offensively talented, really, his assistant coaches can handle that aspect.
Right.
But he needs to instill. Hey, this stuff matters. This is how you do this. So I think that's in that respect a good hire.
No, I think this is great. This is great. It's forcing Fox to be the guy down the stretch, which we always talk about, especially when we get to playoffs. Like, who's taking the shot? You don't get to you can't have a team where it's multiple people. It's you always like that, but what's what we talked about with Middleton and Jan, as it's we know who's taking the shot at the end.
Right. But
it's Middleton.
Right. But if for some reason they decide to throw all the defenders at it, you get the second person you can kick it out to.
Yes. But Giannis is taking over the game. But in the end, if it comes down to it, they're setting screens to get Middleton open.
Yeah, if you need a 3.
And I think Fox is turning into where he's going to start taking over,
and using
in the force again around everybody else.
Picks. To play
I really want Devon to be more of a scorer. He's starting to be a little bit more assertive.
That's how he is in the beginning of the season. He kind of gets a feel for
I know. I know he wants to just get everybody involved. I love how Herter is just kind of they're you need to shoot 15 times.
And he's yeah, great.
And he's okay, cool. I'm doing it. Yeah,
I can do that.
Because he's bigger than you think. He's 6'7". He's shooting over most people, no problem.
Yeah. And he's a great
he's
playmaker.
A bigger bogey, which I love. Yeah, he's very scrappy. Red Velvet. He's the man. He's the man. I want to do, even though Murray's my guy, I'm rolling with him. I do want to get some Red Velvet at some point, and when we go to the game, because I feel like he needs somebody to champion him.
Yeah,
Murray's got plenty of people. Yeah. Everybody's got hope.
I think, Governor Herter, excellent second unit leader.
Yes, Monk on that team is great. He's another guy who was underrated. We thought early on they should have drafted him in the same draft that they drafted Fox. They could have had them both side by side. They played together in Kentucky. But they didn't do it in the second round. In the second round, they ended up
piece, but whatever, King's king.
No, king going king. He went to Charlotte, then he went to the Lakers. Now he's here. So it's a roundabout.
Did he make a small stop over the Knicks? I don't remember. I feel like he was a Knick for a minute too. I don't.
But he was.
I think the Hornets gave up on him. And the
Hornets did give up on him real quick, and he's a better ball handler than I even realized. Can really help, but I mean, when you're talking about him, Rozier, and then you got Ball in there, I'm sure he just
there was no way he was ever going to have a chance to
too many ball handlers. Yeah.
And I think. Is there anything we've learned from the first 10 games of this season, including like these old guys are old and it's becoming a problem?
Oh my God, it's so bad.
With all the player movement, and you see these guys blossom, and you see these guys start to fail, you realize how important coaching is, how important the environment of support and like maximizing your best and minimizing your worst is so important. All these things that like these players who were maligned are suddenly great, and these players that were great are now in a new system where they aren't championed and they're not as good anymore. Like,
no, exactly. It's like that's the things we talked about with like Rick Carlisle leaving Dallas and other things like that, how that could maybe hurt Luka because it's like that structure is not there, like on to make Luka a better player. Now Luka kind of just can be Luka, which is fine. It's going to be good enough to probably get you in the playoffs.
Wins. Good enough for
you're going to get 45, 50 wins. Yeah, but that's as good as they'll get probably, without a good coach and somebody else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's going to be to his own detriment, sort of
as a player.
Yeah. I mean, again, I love Luka, and he's going to get away with what he can because of his athleticism. But eventually, just like any athlete, you need help. And you need to figure out when to turn it on, when to turn it off. Yeah. And he just can't be taking up, 50 shots a game in a playoff game. Like he can't be Kobe, and Kobe knew he couldn't be Kobe. That's why he got Gasol and stuff like later. It's like you could be great, but you can't do it alone. You could try. You can get to the playoffs probably if you're a really great player, but you're not going to get past the second round without another guy who could take over down the stretch.
And you can hand off to at least and play with, a two-man game. You need somebody like that they have to count for both of you at all times. They can't flub their pick and roll defense.
Yes, because the team will plan for you when you play each other 5 times. Like, we're not going to give you the same look every single time. We're going to make other people have to beat us. Like that's what, Philly did to Trae Young, which is different. It's going to happen, or Milwaukee eventually did. But it's like Trae Young's great. And again, he's going to get that team to the playoffs, but it's like, he's going to peter out just like Harden, just like all these guys do if they don't get any help.
And then they got help.
And good coaching. Yeah. So we'll see.
And they got... Well, we've talked about their coach plenty of times.
McMillan, yes. We love us some McMillan.
Great for a youthful team, not great for growth.
He's versed to get you in the playoffs, but that's about it. He's a D'Antoni. He's just Black D'Antoni.
I wouldn't even go that far because you can't instill a system like that. I would say he's Black Scott Brooks. Although to be fair, he was there first, so really Scott Brooks is
the white McMillan.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, there's been coaches like that for generations, but
sure, there's good enough to get you in the playoffs, but not much else,
Yeah. Anyway, there's so much stuff to talk about, but I like talking about the broader stuff that we're talking about, which is like how the NBA has changed just over this offseason. I had my qualms with Donovan Mitchell as a player because he's not particularly efficient, but you put him around a bunch of other inefficient guards and
he looks the most efficient,
and then it's like, oh, now we're fine. Yeah, and I think just being able to play with people that are that athletic that can do so many different things as opposed to athletic people who can do one thing.
Well, when you have a guy like Jared Allen on your team, who just is scrappy, gets offensive rebounds.
Yeah,
like
it's Rudy
he's
Gobert,
the
but
difference
with
why
more
Brooklyn is so bad.
Yeah.
Like Brooklyn became so bad because they mortgaged everything.
Yeah, and now everybody that they mortgaged for has left, or like
has left and
just quit.
To greener past.
Blake Griffin's a Celtic. That's like an insult. That's just like a slap in the face. Like, fuck this team.
It's really bad because he's only playing probably like
he's playing for a championship. That's all he's doing. He's like, I'm playing so I can come out with a ring, and this ain't it. He's like, I see the writing on the wall. If I'm throwing down dunks in the playoffs,
can you imagine when he thought he was coming there? I mean, we haven't even got into like.
Where's the Marcus Aldridge? Did he retire? I don't even remember.
Kyrie. Like, he basically retired because of the whole health condition thing. Yeah. That's the other thing that kind of like.
Yeah.
One of the 12 things that derailed the Nets from being a juggernaut, and 10 of them are Kyrie. Again, I hate Kyrie. I put that on. He's my new milkshake IPA.
I mean, there's not even a competition anymore. Like James Harden's taking a back
exactly.
seat. Both
used to be Harden
and Harden have both taken their back seats. They're like, okay, I get it. The game's changed.
They built the statue, then we just knocked them off of it, and then it's purely Kyrie on there. Like it's all him, and there's he's the king. He's the king of. I can't believe. You're so self-destructive. It's like insane. I've never, I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before.
Yeah. Like ignoring your coach is like the least of the problems. That's insane. The least of your problems is if you ignore your coach.
We thought the worst was just missing games for not getting a shot, right?
Yeah. And now, it's like flat earther. It's like, hey, that's safe.
We'll take that.
Dumb thing
Nets would take you missing 20 games for not having a vaccine over this shit.
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, and again, it's putting his foot in his mouth, and it's, again, just not apologizing. To be honest, he didn't really say much, but again, he is a lightning rod.
But it's what you don't say sometimes that's the problem.
Exactly. And that's what you have to deal with. And he wants his cake and eat it too. And I don't like these famous people thinking that that's true, because that's part of the reason why you make the money that you make is because you're volatile.
Yeah.
Because if you say something, people get to say something back because somebody cares. You don't get to be like, oh, I just want to be a normal person who gets to you send a review to somebody
out there, and you do with it as you see fit. He's like,
I
think the worst
you don't
part he
get
did.
that because you make
He's like, I didn't say what I agree with
$18
and didn't agree with. I'm like, okay, great. So you didn't maybe just state like two things you don't agree with, and like three things you do agree with. Make sure
you don't get to be ambiguous like that when you are a star.
And then you know that the problem is, And like I did something. I said something. So it's like, oh, you did this thing. I'm like, I'm sorry. Do I have to clarify every thing leading up to it? It would be too long of a post to include all the, but like sometimes you have to. Sometimes that's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the problem with hate.
That's why they have people who run their social medias and do stuff like that, because you know why? Because you have to cover your ass all the time.
Yeah.
And they don't want to have to do that. I want to be famous without dealing with the consequences of being famous, and it's like you don't get that option. That this is this new generation of it's not fair. Like, why is this not fair? Like, why can't I be a person? And it's like, because you make $18 billion a year, you don't get to be a normal person.
Ignore your coach and shoot when other people are open.
Yeah, no, you don't get to do that. Like, that comes with it. But this new generation of everything is fair or it's wrong, or everything should be accepted and not. It's like the world doesn't work like that, and you're gonna find out the hard way. And and try to play the victim and all this, and nobody's gonna feel sorry for you.
And
you, Yeezy, all these people. I don't know what world we're in anymore.
And the tough part is when it comes to like making a comment publicly, it is so easy to spread hate with minimal words, right? Because you can leave a lot of things out to help support your case, but it takes so much work to show how it's hateful.
That's why people don't like being, just because it takes twice as much work to be a good person.
Yeah, it's just so it's like okay, this. By the way, I acknowledge the fact that these things are also in there, and that's not great.
Yes,
but overall, I think
you could say I would like you to have your own opinion about this. I'm just throwing this out there.
I understand that there are some things in here that are not great, but I think overall the message is sound, or worth listening to. That's fine.
Right.
It's like it's not perfect.
Make your own assessments.
Because here's the thing: he's like, if you're sharing like a movie like The Godfather, like this is a great movie. Is it? It's about murder and like mafia and like all these like really bad ideas and things that don't go well. So like, yeah, if you just like, here's the thing, like, but you could pick that apart as like a very negative thing, but like, you can also do it with bad movies. You can do it with bad movies. Like, hey, I'm sharing this link, but it's like, there's so many things wrong with this movie. But it's also
this is what we talked with Rogan too, right? Like Rogan did the same thing. He did things and just was like, hey man, I'm just like saying stuff. And it's like, no, you don't get to do that anymore. Stuff
when you have the most listeners on earth.
Yes. When you make millions of dollars now for being popular.
Show hits as many people as your fucking podcast hits. Anymore.
No, exactly. So it's like, you have to deal with the consequences of being popular. I get that you don't know what that is and you're dealing with it all. Sure. But it's like, now you have to send out a disclaimer on everything that you say and everything that you do.
Yeah.
That's how it works now.
I have to throw
and you should have worked it out with Spotify.
For our one listener, Hasani, thank you so much. Like, we're still going to throw out our disclaimers.
Yes.
And we don't have any
we have to be careful what we say, but we don't have any listeners yet. When and if we become SAC famous, I'm sure people will come back and look at all of these things that we talked about.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about milkshake IPAs.
Yeah, speaking of this, this is probably the farthest we've gotten into an episode without mentioning, hey, this is a basketball and beer podcast.
It is.
Responsibly. It's a pun on please drink responsibly because there's beer here. But you're doing...
there's usually, we're usually right in...
November or whatever the fuck you're doing.
Yes, I am and taking a slight hiatus from the beer drinking, but I did have some great beers at Bike Dog's anniversary last week. They are cheers to 9 years. As long as I've been in West Sacramento too, we got here around the same time, and I have to say, the beers were phenomenal. They made, like always. I mean, we always have them on Friends of the Podcast. Their beer was great. It's, I think, a double IPA was their
I am shocked
their anniversary beer. They also have an unfiltered IPA right now, Make It Difficult, which seems like that should be the title of our podcast, really. And it's phenomenal. It's very juicy and light and just slightly hazy. Not really. You can still see through it, but it was done very well. They, from what I heard, mixed the yeast. And so they were trying to make it easy. They're one of my favorite, if not my favorite IPA that they do make. That's a West Coast. They used hazy yeast by accident, which and made it unfiltered. And so they called it Make It Difficult, which I love. Great. Rolling with the punches. Yeah. So if you get out there and you're listening, Hasani, friend of the podcast, try them. They're really good. The Cheers for 9 years is fresh. They just came out with it. It's a week old. Not even, and I think they're coming out with a cherry, their black cherry faux pas, which is their seltzer, should be out this week as well. So cheers to Bike Dog.
Because yes. And New Helvetia's 10th anniversary is this coming weekend. We should shout that out. Doing a bunch of collabs for that. Get some 4-packs in advance and all that stuff. But I am not on some sort of sober kick leading up to
not
Thanksgiving.
for you.
So
somebody should.
This beer is a special part of history for this podcast.
Yes,
for Sacramento beer. I am drinking from Campus Brewing, which went out of business the end of last year. I am drinking their
almost around the same time.
Yeah, I think it was December. So yeah, about a month. We've done it. Did we do an episode there? We did an episode there, right?
We did an episode there. Yes, we did. Yeah, just before. Yeah.
Like, let's fucking.
Yeah, of course we did. Yes.
Anyway, go back and listen to it. But anyway, this I am drinking their Fight Me, I'm Irish coffee pastry stout, coming in at 12.5%. This is the last can of Campus beer that I have. It's made it nearly a year. And actually, this beer I got at around Valentine's Day of 2021. So it's nearly 2 years that this beer's been hanging out. The first iteration of Fight Me on Irish was Campus Brewing's previous name, YOLO Brewing. It was like 18%, and it tasted like medicine. This is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
this is so good. And it's a 2-year-old beer. I sent you a picture. Still has great head retention. Smells great. Tastes great. Not getting drunk off a 12 point. I mean, I will be, but right now I don't feel
Campus
drunk.
was a very solid brewery that they just didn't have a chance and ran into a pandemic. Like, other than that, they fought the good fight.
If I could get this, if they could just reopen and put on Nitro, fuck, man, I'd be.
Remember Die Hard was a Christmas movie? That one was a great beer, which was like a dark chocolate stout with orange in it. Oh my God, so good. They made fantastic beers. Chad Light, which I was talking to you about. Yeah, I think I have a picture.
And even Chad Heavy and Scottish Ale. Like, they just, man, so good.
So good. And they were just, they were just unapologetic. It was just wrong time frame.
And they're just goofy.
That place should have worked.
The good and beers, goofy names. Just a super fun place.
Goofy names. They were living the dream. They lived the dream.
The lease sucked.
The space was huge.
And there's no way to attract an audience from there. There's no.
Well, not when there's a pandemic going on. It's hard to really bring people out to a place.
But there's also where they were is super industrial to the point that there was no.
It's very industrial. No, it's something you started. If they had started, 2010,
right,
it would be fine.
Well,
but you can't do it in 2020.
Yellow started in 2012, so would it have? But I think if they'd have gone in there and not tried to be a home brew, and also, by the way, we brew our own beer, that would probably have helped YOLO a lot. Because
I think that was YOLO's thing, right? And it kind of worked for a little while with the old heads.
But then beer became what it is now.
Yeah, beer elevated a lot very quickly, and standards had just changed. Again, most people used to roll with breweries when they were bad because you were in your neighborhood and you just wanted to support them until they got good. And here it was just too late in the process, of how many breweries were already established, plus just everything they had to deal with pandemic wise. But they did make really good beer. So I hope anybody out there who did get to try them enjoyed it. They had really good beer. I had them on my son's birthday is December 9th, and I made sure that I took a picture of the cooler that was filled with nothing but Chad Lights, because I bought the last two. The last two cases that they had. It was fantastic, and I enjoyed it, and I missed that beer very, very much.
Yeah, David, Peter, I hope you guys are doing well. I know it sucks, but unfortunately, breweries are not like sports teams. Nobody is loyal forever, despite all the terrible things that befall you, and you can't just pick up and move because the support's failing, No. You can. Unfortunately, as much as we want to tie these things together, because again, so those who don't know, we also compare players to beers, breweries to teams, styles to eras, things like that. So that's what we do here technically speaking. I don't think we're going to do much of
Technically,
this.
that's how we bridge the gap to beer tour players.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Phil, you're not drinking a beer. Have you had the Fight Me I'm Irish?
I have had the Fight Me I'm
Great,
Irish.
so we can do this. We can do the thing.
We can.
Let's compare this
I know
beer
what that
to
tastes
a
like.
player. Let's
Fantastic.
do it. And you could pick even the original YOLO version if you. We could do both. We could do both. Let's do YOLO because I know pre-show we talked that you did have the YOLO version, so we could do both.
did.
We could do YOLO is this one and Campus is this one.
Oh my god!
And since both are defunct, we can go through the entirety of NBA annals, any player, any era.
Oh man, if I had to pick the YOLO one, which to me tasted like between cough syrup and like toothpaste, or chocolate toothpaste.
And I'm going to throw in my joke here. Since it's called Fight Me, I'm Irish, I called it Robitussin.
Yes, basically. I mean, it was all of those things. But this version is obviously better. I don't want to ruin the name for that, even though obviously both don't exist anymore.
But you still don't need to dance on a grave for no reason. This is a great beer. This is a great beer.
It was that beer, in my opinion, is Anthony Mason.
Oh, beautiful! Always down for a fight.
Yes, always down for a fight.
One of my favorite players of all time.
School, as much as I hated him, I respected him. Oh, yeah, exactly. By the way, you have to be at least 40 years old.
Also no longer with us, I should point out.
No, he is not. So that was kind of my correlation I was going to get to.
I'm sorry, I stepped on that.
He is not
the worst way.
But yes, also R.I.P. And you have to be at least our age to know who he is. But he was the old school NBA, and weird free throw shooter.
Did you see my motion?
Huge, enormous. He was enormous. I've never seen a bigger, blacker man.
Never seen a deltier man. The deltoid was like, Jesus, how do you do that?
How does that even make sense? It's like, he should have been a wrestler.
Yeah, you look at his history, like he served time in jail for a long time before he joined the NBA, right? Like, you don't get a body like that without being like just in the yard.
No,
every day.
Yeah, somebody would fight. Yeah, he had to
a broken tooth
to
and like a teardrop eye, like a teardrop tattoo, like a scar around his eye. Like, just he looked 55 when he was like 22.
Oh my God! It should be really the whole Knicks team, like
the early '90s Knicks. Charles Oakley. John Starks was a fucking scrapper. Like,
bro, totally. He was light skinned, so he had to really scrap. He had to they didn't care for him at all. So he had to prove it.
I think the
most he had to take on Jordan and get torched.
Is Anthony Mason was like what 6'7", playing power forward?
No, he was just enormous. I mean, Oakley was bigger than him, and they were both enormous in their own rights.
And yet, had like ballerina toes, was the prototype for the PowerPoint forward.
Could finish under the basket, and the foul. Could play really good defense. Again, where you could be more physical back then.
Yeah.
Who won? This is the stuff Jordan was going up against. People don't understand. These are really the Monstars. Coming at him in real life.
He's playing with Zoe. He's playing with Grandmama, and then and Muggsy Bugs, and somehow my eyes were just like, who is this man? Who is this man on the floor?
Yes.
He shoots those free throws.
He's not
those
normal.
Don't know, he's left-handed, which is also a rarity.
I was going to say,
he would guide with his right arm straight out. He would just put his arm straight out and shoot one-handed free throws. It was insane.
Yes.
And then he would make them. It was crazy.
He took practice like that, and people didn't make fun of him because he was so enormous.
Why would you ever say a word?
No.
Larry Bird shut up around Anthony Mason. That's Anthony Mason.
Yeah, because he would just murder you. He's like, I'm not afraid to go back. I'm not afraid to go back.
It's you never win.
So
but it looks like I did.
That's my pairing for this beer.
It's is this guy on crack?
Anthony Mason, R.I.P.
Love him. One of my favorite players in history. Also, I just want to point out his move in the post was to throw his giant elbow into your chest over and over again until you gave up, or he knocked the wind out of you, and then make a better shot.
Rick Schmidt. Rick Schmidt. I don't know how many times he hit him in the gut.
Just beating the fuck out of him. So yeah, that's a great pick.
Thank you.
Oh, man. But for me, for the YOLO version, it's Michael Aloa-Kandi. No description needed. It's big and useless, and it's nobody enjoys looking at what's going on the floor right there.
Oh, there was the prospect was so high for Aloa-Kandi. UOP, I think. University of Pacific.
University of Hawaii.
Center. Was he Hawaii?
Yeah, he's Hawaii. That's what made him intriguing. It was like, oh, there's this guy in Hawaii who's like doing this cool shit.
Oh, maybe he transferred. I thought he was maybe or his brother. But yeah, Aloa-Kandi, he was great defense. You know, it was one of those, again, back to when there was the old metrics. You can't teach size. You play decent defense and rebound. So you thought like, oh, if you teach this guy how to score.
Yeah.
To just make a layup or two, this guy's going to be almost unstoppable.
And then he's like,
that was the opposite. He just regressed. No, he took the money and
take the money,
and lumbered. Yeah, he was like, I could just take money and just be big. I'll just keep doing that.
The craziest thing is people thought that Aloa-Kandi was like a 2 or 3 year player, but he played for like 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
He was always like the 9th man. Like just. He had a career, and that's crazy. Anyway, so that's...
No, he had a career. No, because you could have a career just being a big lumbering guy who just went down the court and got 6 fouls. Yeah, exactly. Matt Geiger, like, come on.
Matt Geiger had 2 good years.
Tag.
Oh, Greg Ostertag. Who's that guy that ruined everything for the Sonics? Jim McIlvaine. You know what? I'm changing it. It's Jim McIlvaine. That is Jim McIlvaine. Fuck you, Jim McIlvaine.
No.
The reason Sean Kemp had to leave because they're like, we got this guy who's like Sam Perkins except with no skill whatsoever.
Right, exactly. With no pedigree, no skill whatsoever. We just heard from a guy.
Can't shoot a 3-pointer.
Oh man, yeah, that was the era of the big white guy. That was a really good era for you guys.
Yeah, Greg.
Go white guy.
Yeah, who else was the fucking? Yeah, because the Bulls had like 2 of them. They're like Bill Wennington.
And the Bulls had
I mean, to be fair,
Wennington. Yes,
and the guy that was actually good, Australian guy. Not Tony Kukoc.
God damn it.
His name.
Longley. He was in the documentary.
Luke Longley,
yes.
Had skills. But there's but Greg Ostertag.
Great passer.
Had some blocks. Greg Ostertag.
And Domas's dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pretty good in his own right for the Blazers.
Yeah.
And Sabonis.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's one more. Oh, Sean Bradley, of course. How do we forget?
Oh, Sean Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
He was like the depth. That was where it was first known, like, there is too tall.
Yeah.
And like, that was like,
white.
This is... yeah, he's too tall and too white.
Yeah, and also no longer with us. This is a very sad episode.
Well, we're talking about R.I.P.
Yeah, a lot of R.I.P.
Breweries, which led us to R.I.P. basketball players. This is the correlation. This is what we do, people. You can't make this stuff up. We are professionals.
Yeah. Oh boy, I don't know what we're doing. Anyway, we got to do the campus version. Fight Me, I'm Irish. Only 12.5% because the YOLO was 18%, and I think that was the problem. It was like, let's just pump all this sugar in there, and it just is so gross.
Yeah, probably. Well, it takes knowing how to really make good beer and not just 18%. Mediocre.
It's gonna be fusel alcohol if you fuck it
Nothing is gonna taste good at 18%. Let's just get this over. Stop doing it, people. Nothing tastes good at 18.
Very rarely.
Black Tuesday. Like all of those you have to share with 18 people and have a thimble full of it.
Yeah, and then
or else
you can't even wash it out. It's so thick you can't even like rinse it out. It has to be like the last beer,
no,
and then you all go home unhappy and drunk. Yeah.
Yes. No. So don't. I'm sorry, brewery. I know that you're still your mainstay.
13 or below. I know people are looking for the biggest, hottest thing.
13. Yeah, 13 is a great number. Yeah. Other than that, stop.
Look, I know that the Brewfest tell you everybody's looking for the big beer, but you know you hate those people. You know you hate those people. So stop serving them. People.
Yes.
I want to go to a Brewfest where everybody's drinking something 6%.
What kind of debauchery happens at 18%? Nobody makes a good decision if you do that.
I need a brewery outside of Utah to make nothing but 6% or below beers. And be like, nah, we're doing this. I know the market won't hold up. It's like our double IPA is 6.2. Our Imperial Stout is 19 ounces.
IPA is 3%. You're like, yes, it's pretty strong.
We doubled it to 6.2%. Our session IPA is 1.3. What are you going to do about it?
It's just our double IPA. We just add water, carbonated water to it.
All right. So Campus Fight Man Irish, the good version.
Yes.
To be fair, I feel like Anthony
probably
Mason
an updated player.
I feel like
No, he was. Great.
But yeah, he's also super aggressive.
It was just the correlation of they are no longer with us.
And
but
also
yes, I
just
agree
like
with you.
Brutal. I think
yes,
it's a fair assessment.
Brutal. Yeah, in your chest, like you said. They made men back then. I don't know how. Again,
I don't think there's another Anthony Mason. There's no way you can make that face.
No, all the Davis brothers we talked about. All the times they fought with, like, it was just muscles on muscles. Just everybody's just elbowing each other. It's like, how did they not like somebody just stab somebody in the locker room? Like, if they had done it right, like WWE, they would have followed those guys to the locker room and let them have like a little cage match in the parking lot. Like, that would have been like
a Dale
amazing.
Davis Anthony Mason grudge match.
Can you imagine that? Versus Oakley and Mason, like
and then
a tag team match?
Antonio Davis and Charles Oakley. Oh my God, I would. That's a tag team matchup of fucking.
Who wouldn't watch that? 10
oh my God, I would watch that a million
yeah.
times. I would watch that. I was like, this is a yearly event, right? We're doing this every year.
Oh yeah, like I literally love
they're 65 years old. I'm watching it.
That's the only thing that carried pretty much why Jordan was gone was the fact that maybe one of them might murder each other in these 2 years.
Yeah.
Jordan's not here.
I mean, say what you want about Knicks ownership, but they did give us Charles Oakley v. Security.
That's true. They did.
But like true. Charles Oakley's such a fucking gentleman.
They just waited too long.
Yeah, I just feel like he's like, I can kill you, right? Like I can kill you. I'm just not going to do it because I'm in a suit. I don't want blood on the suit. I'm a gentleman.
I know what this is going to look like on me. But I could throw all of you down these stairs right now if I wanted to.
I can get you in that bucket. I will shoot this shot, and it will not be a problem for me, and you know it. Oh, man.
Yes, you're lucky I'm only 55.
Yeah. Come at me in 20 years, and maybe I can't do it. Maybe I can't do it.
Maybe. Yeah. No, that's some old man strength right there. I'm not fucking with that.
So speaking of, you're a dad. You got 2 kids. I'm a dad.
I do.
I got 1 kid. I don't know how you were. I've only known you as a father, I think. But I've noticed that since I've been a dad, all of my reflexes I had as a child are back. Like I can just like snap, grab stuff like it's nothing. Before I had like the reflexes of a dead cat. I couldn't grab anything. I had like no grip strength. I had nothing. And now it's like bam, 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 got it all. My baby tried to fall off my couch twice.
I'm also losing it very quickly.
Oh, they're getting older? Is it because they're getting older?
When they were babies, for sure, like catching them or knowing what's going to be more anticipatory.
It's dope.
it's still I had the spider senses. They went up a couple levels when you have them.
Yeah,
you anticipate better. I don't know if you're faster, but you definitely anticipate better.
I'm faster, dude. I'm faster. I'm so much quicker, dude. My baby tried to fall off the couch twice. I pinned her both times against the cushions. She's like at an angle. Her head an inch from the ground. Like, nah, you ain't doing it. She bounced off a cushion sideways. Oh boy! I was like, boom, pinned her. Nope.
That happens. You're not alone in this world. Everybody's done it.
Nobody talks about it. Like they talk about like mom strength when the kid gets trapped under a car, but it's just everything. You're stronger. Like I was.
Yeah, no.
My girlfriend and I started wrestling in bed. It's a thing that we used to do. We haven't done it in a while, and like I would always lose her because I don't want to like overpower her, because like I know I can be stronger, but if I
right, I mean, and you still win.
I didn't know. No, I lost every time. I lost every time, but I didn't know how to use my strength. Then now I can use my strength and my agility and my reflexes, and so like she got pissed at me because I was like not letting her win.
He's like, wait a minute.
She's like, what's happening? I'm like, this is dad reflexes. You don't got nothing about it. Now I know how to like use exactly how much strength I need as opposed to like doing too much and making it hurt and be like, I'm so sorry.
Right. I don't want to hurt you, so you would just let her win.
I'm just going to beat you. I'm just going to beat.
Right.
Because like my daughter has like grip strength and pull strength. So I'm going to like take things away from her that's like more strength than you think you would need.
And they use like they have like ant strength where it's like
they like have 1,000 times their body weight.
Like their body weight, like they could just clamp onto something and just walk if they really truly wanted to.
Like, no.
Yeah, it's insane.
I've had to loosen all the fingers one by one so many times to get things away from her. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're insane. Kids are insane.
But the point is, reflexes for basketball. That's what I was going to talk about. Defensively, I was a defensive voice as a kid, and now I'm an old, out of shape man. But those are coming back, and it's like fucking cool.
But yes, so yeah, the yellow beer. I don't know. I feel like I've brought him up before because he's the best name ever to be in basketball. And he was you were a fan, I'm pretty sure.
I think I know where we're going.
Growing up, Detlef Shrimp.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, I don't know why I was anticipating Old and Polonese. We've already done an Old and Polonese beer. Detlef Shrimp, great call.
Well, yeah, I mean,
semi-red hair.
Again, semi-red. Yeah, semi. I mean, yeah,
he's a blonde. He's
more Russian probably than Irish, but yeah, like. Another really good player. I wish I didn't go so deep. I was going to try to think of somebody a little bit more recent. But another, again, solid player. I think that, again, the yellow, not the yellow version, but campus version was so much better and made it what it should have been. And it was so good. And yeah.
Yeah. An Irish coffee stout that's just amplified. That's really it.
Yeah.
Just make an Irish stout.
It was truly it. It's like one of those things where it's like you don't think that you want that.
Easy.
Yeah, you think like you're like, this can't be this good. And then you have it and you're like, oh no, this is really good.
Yeah, and just kept it simple. They didn't try to overpower with a million things. They're just like, hey, Irish stouts are a thing. Irish coffee's a thing. Pastry stouts are a thing. Imperial stouts are a thing. Boom, we did it. We just made an amplified Irish coffee beer.
It's just like that, easily done.
Yeah, and it's like Detlef Shrimp. What if we made a power forward a 3-point shooter for the first time in history, who also had
for once, our first reference has not passed away.
Right, we did it. What if it was still alive?
We did it.
Like the yeast we used to brew this beer. Continuing into the generations.
Holding on for dear life, enjoying his life.
What if he's currently in a hospital holding on for dear life? That would be the worst. Just like we don't know it. Because no one cares about Detlef Shrimp.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody's reporting, nobody's following him around. Like Sean Kemp and his 32nd kid.
Yeah, where would we find it? I don't even know if Reddit would have that information.
Yeah. That left us a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, the good old days.
Yeah. So basically 90s power forwards. Is that what we're talking about? 90s power forwards?
Yeah, it's pretty much where we're going with this. I think a strong. I mean, usually that's where we went when we were. I mean, when we originally created this podcast,
we did a lot.
We had decided on styles being certain positions are in that range, and I think that's kind of where I've been leaning towards is a more of a stronger beers are going to be more power forward centric beers like your A1, your A2 but you never see Irish coffee stouts out there, man. And
Fall Rivers is incredible, and they have a nitro can as well. So if you can get,
now I'm jealous,
dude, and it's like quote unquote widely available. It's like you can find it if you're looking. I highly recommend it. Great beer. Fall River.
I want it at that time of year, man.
Nitro
it's getting nippy out there.
Yeah.
Need that thick coat. That's why I'm waiting, man. That's why I'm taking a little break just before Thanksgiving where we're going to add all these calories on. Trying to, make some room. Because they're all coming back. And so don't worry about it. These 20 pounds aren't going anywhere, guys.
They'll be back. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm just trying to keep it a cycle, so it's like a 260 all the time, the same time of year. Yeah.
I'll get it down for when we need to weigh in for.
Yeah, exactly. When it matters most, I'll be down. I'm cutting weight right now. Then Thanksgiving, putting them all back on. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, we did a reevaluation of our family finances last week, and I'm like, oh, fuck, this is ugly. I'm like, I have all these beers that I've just been like not drinking because they require two people. Like they are now the beers I will be drinking for the next several weeks.
No, you will be drinking.
I will not be going out and purchasing new beers. So I guess we're going to do with
drunk dad. That is also I've noticed in these 2 weeks that I have not really drank. That my bank account looks a lot better. And I can buy other things like clothes and other things I might need, like winter clothing and just basic food needs instead of worrying about getting the next 4-pack of IPA that comes out.
Yeah, and the prices are just getting worse. But just like, paying for basketball players, just getting worse. We should bring it back to basketball.
This is getting more
depressing. We spent so long not talking about beer that now we spent too long talking about beer.
Well, yes, we're bridging. We got to bring the beers back.
50-50. We're at a 50-50 level now.
I think we've done enough. We had to balance it out with the Kanye Kyrie situation.
Two different beers. We haven't even talked about Kawhi Leonard doing it again. Is he doing it again?
Oh. Here we go. Just taking a paycheck, my friend. Taking a paycheck.
Look, here's what I think. He's one of the first athletes like, no, I will prioritize my health over this fucking game. I will be retired at 36. I have 70 years left because he's going to live to be 116, according to my math.
Probably.
Because he's never going to talk.
But for why? He's not going to say anything or be interesting to anybody.
He's never going to do anything. He's going to take that money. I guarantee he has spent no money. He bought like $125,000 ramshackle house in like Wyoming, and he's just going to stay there.
What is going on here?
He's not going to do anything. Yeah. He's just going to disappear.
Like who has made more money off of a championship than that dude without working again? Like I've never seen that.
I want him to be a sniper. Like, you and I both know.
Paid, you won the championship perfectly. You get paid, and then you don't show up for work, or you just choose that you can't show up for work.
Look, if you've logged as much time as he has, you've logged sick time, and you just use it up. If you're allowed to take leave,
I'm all for player empowerment, just like anybody else. Cry me a river to the owners and everybody who's paying these guys because clearly they can afford it.
Right.
My whole thing is more like, just play, man. Like I get if you're hurt, really hurt, you're hurt. But I feel like it's going to be a detriment either to the season, which we have talked about before during the pandemic, about shortening the season. Maybe that's what they end up doing, but I think they wanted to do that, but wanted the players to take a prorated salary. That's not really going well. Obviously not. And so I think you're just becoming at a crossroad, but it's like, it's just, I think when they see stuff like this, it's just going to be more hesitant for teams to pay a guy like Kawhi or something like that a long-term deal and give, when like half the time it's like, I'm going to miss 30 games at least. That's, it's not fair to George. It's not fair to other players who are trying to make. Now, it does give them playing time, but then it's like when it's playoff time, you're going to have no chemistry.
The problem is chemistry. But here's the thing. I think he's trying to say, look, we've been I think he's making a statement without saying anything. I think that's what Kawhi is doing. It's like, hey, you make money on our sacrifice. I don't feel healthy enough to play, so I will not play. I'm not playing the game of like I'm a warrior. I am a human being, and I'll play when I'm healthy enough to play.
And again, I get it. Like, hey,
because I have a whole life outside of basketball.
Take care of yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Because
like I'm sure again, Kawhi could just walk away.
The other option is he's Andrew Luck of the NBA. That's the other option. Is he just like, hey, one day, fuck these injuries, I'm done. So like you have to figure out which one you want. And so I think he's kind of Andrew Lucking it. He's like, hey, these injuries suck. I'm not giving up my full life's health for this game. And I think there's something admirable in it. It's frustrating as a fan. It's frustrating as a fan of Kawhi Leonard specifically because I love Kawhi Leonard and I want to see him on the floor as much as I can because he's so phenomenal to watch. Yes. There's nobody like him. So I miss.
No, that's why the situation is
it's frustrating.
It's so strange and frustrating. I think it's because the guy works hard when he's there, and he worked really hard to get where he is. But it's also kind of like you won 2 championships. One you really you did all by yourself pretty much, or
and then
you had because clearly you see Toronto after like. At first, I was feeling bad for Toronto, and now I'm kind of not feeling. I'm feeling like Toronto kind of made out by not paying him.
And they got to were able to bring Pascal Siakam along a little bit because of the absences. Like, he'll fill you in once
and Flan Fleet's gotten to take over more.
Yeah,
and
so in that case, it was
a newbie, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they got some good pieces there. Yeah. But
they got a championship.
But
and they got
it just makes it tough.
If he'd been there every game.
Who wants to watch the Clippers? You don't know how good the Clippers really are. You don't know how good. Yeah, I would rather watch the Nets, and I don't even know how good the Nets are, and I would rather watch. Yeah, they're bad.
They're bad.
They're all
Kevin
bad.
Durant is possibly playing the best basketball of his career, and they're bad.
Yeah,
that's how bad they are. Yeah. Kevin Durant's like, hey, I'm going to be
in
a
the
fucking
East.
Supernova, and
remember what we were talking about in the East, where it was like, the 7 seeds, the AC, people getting in were just like. The Atlanta Hawks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and now we're talking about the Nets might not even make. Where are they? Are they the 10th team? The 10th team?
11th at best. Yeah. I think they're not making it. It's such shambles. There's no relationship. There's no skill. There's no talent.
No.
It's Durant and nothing else now. They've spent all this time burning money, burning relationships. They have nothing.
Burning money.
They have not. Ben Simmons.
No, because Kevin Durant, you could tell, is disinterested half the time.
And I would.
Kevin Durant is disinterested.
And
Kyrie's really disinterested.
One of the best seasons of his career. It's still one of the best efficient seasons of his career, and he doesn't.
Oh my God!
And Ben Simmons.
I think he shot 80. I think he shot almost 80% in this game today, and single-handedly beat the Clippers. And again, Paul George, terrible. But it's just what all these teams are one-man shows. They paid all this money to get these superstars, and then and try to add a third and bankrupt everything, and then you don't end up with anything good. Like Ben Simmons, what do you say? Like what? Because I mean, you were kind of an apologist for him.
I tried to be. He's not working.
He's bad.
He's bad.
He's bad too.
But like I even as an apologist, I knew he was bad. I'm like, you can put him in a role where he can succeed and you'll be fine. And they're not doing that. They're putting him in roles to fail. They're trying to make him a center, which I'm like, a center on the offensive side, but on defense, he's better on the perimeter. Like, no, we're going to make him the guy that cleans up the messes of the people who don't defend over here. It's just, they're
they just want to use his size, where it's like you could use them in certain situations late in the game, stuff like that. Yeah, he's probably he's a big guy. It's like Mike Brown using Herder because Herder's tall, like to use him in rebounding situations. But that's not who he is. Like he's a facilitator. He's still a guard. He's still a facilitator. Yes.
Ben Simmons is still a guard.
I know.
He's still a guard.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. These payrolls, they can't sell tickets. It's like, it's just a nightmare.
No 2 or 3 players are topping chemistry.
No.
So, Grizzlies, I'm putting money. If I had money, again, I ran my finances this last week. I don't have money. If I had money, Grizzlies in the finals.
If we have 0, yeah.
Grizzlies in the finals.
I like that. I think so. At least Western Conference Finals for sure. If everybody stays healthy, Bane's taking a step.
Oh my God! Remember I said you can't trade Desmond Bane? I'm looking like a fucking genius here.
Yeah, you do look like a goddamn genius.
Like it's $6 million. Like fucking, you don't do it. You can't put him in there.
You can't. No, you have to. No.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of his Robin.
They got Desmond Bane.
They have Durant. And again, like that's why they're so good when, what's his name is hurt. They had such a good record without wasn't out in the lineup. John Morant is that because they have Desmond Bane, and they also have a really good backup point guard who is more of a facilitator. But again, that they're able to switch. Jaren Jackson, he's hurt right now, and they're still playing really well. They're the perfect age. Like everything's working out really well for them. So, anyways.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, if I could put money on it just to be an insane person, let's do Memphis versus New Orleans in the Western Conference Finals. How great would that be?
You are an insane person. But
I'm an insane person, but they're both the most talented teams on the Western Conference, I think.
Right, put it on the board.
Like up and down the lineup, 1 through 12, they're the best teams. Now, you could put a 1 through 5 on the Warriors, obviously, but if 1 through 12, those are the best teams.
Yes.
So
those are probably the 2 I would like. Obviously, we like Cleveland. I'm assuming they're going to work things out there. They're probably a top
1 through 5
team.
is like 1 through 7, I think, on the Cavs is like, okay.
Yeah, that's where it's like in the East where it's like where, yeah, exactly. Like again, where we talked about, it's like, where are the Nets going to fit in? Who's coming out of there? When you got Miami, 76ers are still going to be in it. Milwaukee,
of course,
Boston,
and of course Boston.
Yeah, Atlanta. Atlanta's clearly going to be better. Where are you putting them?
Last year, we spent a lot of time mocking the Magic for having no players and nothing of consequence, and now they might actually be a team.
Be decent.
They might be. It's unbelievable. The playoffs.
They literally did nothing but got rid of everyone.
They drafted one guy. And
one guy,
and the actual guy last year is turning out pretty good, and that's it.
World stoppers, now they look like hey, they could be decent.
It's like and also the NBA blew up everything that they knew about themselves, but also and it's timing. Timing is important.
It is. Timing is very important. There's a lot of teams going down right when they're going up, so it's working out.
That's true.
It's working out.
Yeah. What a fucking.
We've been what a year already. What a year.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about, and we still have
you thought we had nothing to talk about.
We had too much
like an hour and too much to talk about. Yeah, we're gonna have to
cut
it short, but
but we did great. Welcome back, buddy.
I think we did really good. I think we did a nice
90% of the league. I think we tackled 90% of the league.
I think so. I think so. So right now you're picking who in the Western Conference and who in the Eastern Conference.
I already told you, it's the Grizzlies versus the other one that I said, Pelicans. There we go. That's my Western Conference picks. My Eastern Conference picks is the Celtics. It's the Celtics and the Bucks. Just lazy picks. Just do it again. Run it back.
Yes, and then I'm picking. I think I'm picking. It's going to be Boston, Milwaukee in the East.
Fucking East.
And I know. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. I'm picking.
You can't
chalk.
control that. It's not your fault.
I'm picking chalk. And then in the West, I'm gonna say I like your Pelicans. And I like your Pelicans, and I like. It's probably be Memphis. Dang it, Pelicans.
Right,
Memphis.
They're so good. They're so good. Oh, also Nikola Jokic still exists in the world. I thought we should point that out. We didn't talk about the Nuggets at all.
Oh yeah, he might be a 3-time MVP somehow.
Yeah, and yet we're not even going to bring him up in an entire time.
Like, who have we not talked
about? The Nuggets.
Great. No. Can they be worse with Murray now? I don't even understand. I don't know.
Just bad timing, Just bad timing for Nikola.
Yes.
And I think I briefly mentioned in passing the Rockets by making a pot shot at James Harden era. So I think we've covered all the teams.
I think we did. Yes, we said all the keywords.
Yeah, every team has been covered. That's an average of 2 minutes per team, by the way. That's pretty good time.
I think we did all right.
Us expounding on things at random and talking for the half of it about one beer. So, anyway, I think we got to get out of here. But if you want to get involved in this podcast and be like, hey, I want to hear how you feel about my player or beer, you can do that. You can just hit us up on social media at Please Drunk Responsibly on Instagram, at PDRPod on Twitter. You can email pleasedrunkresponsibly@gmail.com. We know you're not going to, but what if you did? And
yeah, we're talking to one person out there, but whenever you do it, just do it,
Yeah, let us know.
We're going to get it out there.
We'll do it.
Yes, let us know. We will do it.
We will compare
and if not, we'll find you.
Compare a beer. We will compare the things. We are so good. We are masterful.
Yes.
You saw it.
We're really good at this. Yes, we made it up, and we're really, really good at it.
We know so much about beer and basketball that we can do all kinds of stuff.
We're amazing.
Who's the Mosaic Hops of basketball? And it's what's that guy? Damn it! Oh, it's the franchise. It's Steve Francis. Steve Francis is the
Stevie Francis.
If you were wondering, that's for people who hate Mosaic hops. Like, man, beer's good, but I don't like green onions. And
yeah, I'm like, how? Like, I love this beer. God damn it! You don't like cilantro either. Damn it. Yeah. Yes, I agree with you. But yes, on that note. Where can they reach you at, Ben?
Oh my God, where can they reach you? You can find me across social media at Barley and Me Pod. I have a beer podcast, just regular old beer, no basketball involved, unless there is. Barley and Me, so Barley and Me Pod across social media. Follow it, check it out. Phil, where can they find you?
They can find me in Culinary Lando on Instagram and Peter Parkour on Twitter, as well as our social medias that we have on every platform. We're staying up on it as much as we possibly can, and we're doing our best. But there's a lot of sports and stuff going on out there, so check us out. We're trying to get snarky with it. We're trying to make some fun, and we love to hear from you guys when we see you in the streets of the breweries or online.
If you see an NBA post, just click the 3,990 comments and find ours. and it's the best comment in the thread. We're
That's
very
the
smart.
one. Yes, like it, we would love that.
Because they go by the algorithm, we're going to be way down there. Just keep clicking next comments, all comments, all comments, all comments, all comments, and like, oh fucking, please don't responsibly killed it on this thread. Just know it's in there. It's worth the 900 clicks.
It is. It will make it worth your while.
It's only 399 clicks, but it's worth it. We'll be at the bottom. But no, because the bottom's last. So really, you know what we're saying. You've got it.
Yes.
Anyway, that's the episode, I guess. Our first of the season. We did it.
Nice.
Perfect timing.
We did.
We did all of the stuff.
The season has started.
Thank you.
Your favorite 2022 to 2023 season.
Yeah. So far away from 2020, 2021. That's so far away.
Yes, it was so far away.
Oh my God. What a life we've lived.
The good old days.
Yeah.
How have we done this 2 seasons already?
And no one cares.
Season 3.
What have you been in a
Nobody
pandemic?
cares. Not yet. But
one
you
day
know
we're
what?
going to be outside of that King Stadium. They're like, fire the laser. Like, no, put the focus on Please Don't Respond.
See, we're going to be out there one of these times.
When the Kings win, there will be a live recording of Please Don't Respond. Be outside too.
There will be.
That's what they're going to announce. They're not like, fuck that laser. We got these 2 guys talking basketball. Anyway, we got to get out of here.
Yes.
So I've been one of your hosts, Ben Rice.
And I've been Phil Webster.
Reminding you to
please
dunk responsibly. That's our best outro we've done in forever. Kind of do what we were
considering
doing.
it was our first one. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's veteran moves.
Usually it takes like 5 or 6.
We're like, what are we doing? How do we get into this? Like, no, we're like old pros.